Before starting the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and like the video. Thanks for your support. Now let's go to the video. One of Toyota's most well-known and longest-running nameplates is returning to America. When Toyota's Land Cruiser was redesigned for 2022, it was to be enjoyed the world over everywhere except America. Indeed, the J300 series Land Cruiser, despite having newly transitioned onto the same TNGA-F ladder chassis, as a variety of U.S. market trucks and SUVs, including the latest Tacoma, Tundra, Sequoia, and Lexus LX 600, would not be sold in America like so many of its predecessors dating back decades. That is not, however, where the Land Cruiser story ends here in the U.S. It's an iconic 4x4, and Toyota executives have dropped several hints regarding its reintroduction here only. It won't take the form you're expecting. The full-size J300 is out, largely for the same reasons it wasn't brought here in the first place. It's too expensive, sold in too few numbers, and overlaps rather heavily with its Lexus LX sibling. For the Land Cruiser nameplate's return, Toyota is hoping to widen its appeal with a more wieldy size and a more palatable MSRP. Toyota will likely also assign this smaller Land Cruiser variant a different chassis code, maybe J150 or J200, and adapt a smaller footprint version of the TNGA-F bones for its use. If you're looking for an idea of where such a Land Cruiser light might fall in Toyota's increasingly crowded body-on-frame lineup, figure on it landing above the Tacoma pickup and 4Runner SUV, but below the 3-row, full-size Sequoia. It's a pretty good guess the next generation 4Runner, which is switching to the Taco's TNGA-F architecture, will stay roughly the same size and drop its available 3rd-row seat, while more directly attacking adventure vehicles such as the 4-door Jeep Wrangler and Ford Bronco, perhaps like a modern-day FJ Cruiser. This would open up just enough airspace for the Land Cruiser, which would be adapted from the global Toyota Prado, another soon-to-be redesigned future TNGA-F adoptee, much like the 2020 for Lexus GX. A vestigial 3rd-row seat option is almost a given, along with the Prado's stadium-style seating, where each successive row of seats sits slightly higher than those ahead. Certain versions of the new Tacoma pickup ride on an old-school leaf spring rear suspension, but the new Land Cruiser will get the multi-link coil-sprung setup with a live axle from the off-road variants. 4-wheel drive will be standard. Recently leaked info from the Australian site Drive suggests that there won't be a V6 engine available in the Toyota Prado, and that makes it highly likely that the American market Land Cruiser will make do with a lineup of I-4 engines, much like the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. That means the powerful V8-esque twin-turbo V6 and hybrid V6 options from the larger Sequoia and Tundra won't make an appearance, but that squares with the notion of the new Land Cruiser slotting between the Sequoia and 4Runner. Not that the 2024 Toyota Tacoma's line of 2.4-liter turbocharged I-4 South would be such a bad thing in the Land Cruiser. We doubt the base 170 HP engine from the Tacoma will be available, but the slightly more powerful 178 HP engine would be a good starting point. With the hybridized iForce Max 2.4L Turbo i4 Hybrid with 326 horsepower and 465 pounds FT would be a great range-topping engine. Drive has heard the hybrid will be available in the US market, but not elsewhere in the Prado. Elsewhere, the Prado will get a 2.8-liter i4 turbodiesel, but we don't expect that engine to be available in the Land Cruiser. Expect the next Land Cruiser to come in at a price quite a bit lower than what the last generation model stickered at to start. Somewhere in the $55,000, $65,000 range is a good bet for the new model. Expected on sale date summer 2024. In early July of 2023, Toyota teased a new upcoming rugged SUV was on the horizon for U.S. customers, with a brief caption highlighting 65 years of heritage. Likely referencing the iconic Toyota Land Cruiser SUV, the caption reads, "You can choose to slow down or reinvent yourself. We chose the latter. Stay tuned for more updates." It's unclear what Toyota could mean by reinvention of the Land Cruiser, but it will likely have to do with whichever global vehicles the U.S. Land Cruiser ends up being related to, judging by these teasers. The recently revealed Lexus GX seems to be a good bet as to the vehicle in question. When the latest generation Land Cruiser went on sale in global markets in 2021, it marked the first time the model hadn't been offered here in the US for some 60 years. At the time, when Toyota announced that the new model wouldn't be coming to the US, it left the door open a crack that it would return at some point, but was very vague. The 2020 Lexus LX looked as though it would be the only vehicle sold here in the US that would be Land Cruiser-like, given that it shares its platform and much of its mechanicals with the present global Land Cruiser. The Lexus LX is also priced in a range at the low end that is close to that of the last Land Cruiser sold here, around $90,000 to start, or get the coming Lexus GX. The new generation Lexus GX is another vehicle that's essentially built on the same rugged body-on-frame platform that's expected to underpin the new Land Cruiser. It's also expected to be priced at the low end in a similar range to the coming Toyota badged version at around $60,000 to start.